2017 was a very interesting time for Major League Baseball. The league's most dominant pitcher, Corey Kluber, won his second career Cy Young Award for the then Cleveland Indians. In one of the closest MVP finishes in MLB history, Giancarlo Stanton took home the hardware over Joey Votto by just 2 points after blasting a league-best 59 home runs for the Marlins. While, of course, the biggest headline from this season came after the Astros won their first World Series in franchise history, a World Series championship that is seen as controversial in the eyes of many MLB fans. In Houston's postseason run, they defeated the Yankees in the ALCS in 7 games, who were led by rookie slugger Aaron Judge, followed by a 7-game series win over the Dodgers, who were led by rookie slugger Cody Bellinger. The combo of Judge and Bellinger in 2017 was great for baseball, 2 rookie superstars playing for big market teams. Aside from injuries keeping him off the field, Judge has been more consistent year to year than Bellinger. In the time since his rookie campaign, he's become the captain of the Yankees, one of the highest paid players in the league, and one of the many faces of baseball. Cody Bellinger's career, on the other hand, has been an unpredictable, wild, crazy roller coaster ride that saw him become arguably the best player in the league, then arguably the worst player in the league, and then somehow good again. Before we break it down, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight to it. Cody Bellinger was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers in round 4 of the 2013 draft. 4 years later, at 21 years old, he was called up to make his MLB debut in late April of the 2017 season. Right away, it was clear the Dodgers had a special player on their hands, because despite Bellinger being the youngest player in this lineup, he was clearly the best. And it's not like his teammates were scrubs either. He shared the field with 2016 Rookie of the Year winner Corey Seager, all-stars like Justin Turner and Yasmani Grandal, and young studs like Chris Taylor and Yasiel Puig. After winning the NL West 4 years in a row prior to this season, it was no surprise LA was good once again. But they were simply on another level in 2017, and the addition of Bellinger played a huge role in that. They finished with their first 100-plus win season since 1974, while Bellinger broke the National League rookie home run record, earning the reputation of a hitter that should be feared. These numbers helped him cruise to the National League Rookie of the Year hardware, giving LA their second winner in back-to-back years. He also made the NL All-Star team as a reserve. As mentioned earlier, the Dodgers would eventually lose in the World Series, but the best of Cody Bellinger was still yet to come. In 2018, a year where there was lots of hype around him, he took a step backwards in most categories, but was still extremely productive in this Dodgers lineup that again lost in the World Series, this time to the Red Sox. While Bellinger was impressive, he did have his fair share of flaws. These are his barrel percentage, exit velo, and hard hit percentage metrics from those 2 years. All 3 are in a very high percentile compared to the rest of the league, which is great. Unfortunately, his whiff and strikeout percentage were among the worst in the league in that same span. Based on these metrics, we can conclude that when Cody Bellinger swung the bat in 2017 and 2018, there was a good chance he would miss completely. However, in the cases where he did make contact, the ball was hit very hard and very far. But what would happen if Bellinger could improve his poor hitting metrics while keeping the great ones the same? What kind of numbers would he put up? Well, in 2019, we got our answer. In Bellinger's age 23 season, he was an absolute monster, putting up a career high in pretty much everything, blasting 47 home runs with 115 RBIs, all while batting over 300. His massive improvement of whiff and strikeout percentage, which was now above average, helped him cut down his strikeouts tremendously. These numbers sent him to his second All-Star game, where this time he was a starter. He won a Silver Slugger Award and became one of the youngest MVP winners in MLB history. 2019 was peak Cody Bellinger. At just 23 years old, not only was he the face of the Dodgers lineup, he was one of the faces of baseball. He was a kid that had already done so much with the bulk of his career still ahead of him, but just when it seemed like he was on top of the world, everything fell apart. In 2020, MLB dealt with the infamous 60-game COVID season. Out of the 56 games Bellinger played in, the power numbers were there, as they equate to roughly 36 home runs and 90 RBIs in a full season, but his slash line plummeted. There were talks about Bellinger potentially having a 400 average in this 60-game season, so him batting only .239 was pretty underwhelming. It's unclear what caused this drop, because the metrics overall were still pretty good. Maybe it was the extra long offseason that caused him to lose some momentum at the plate from his 2019 season. Either way, it didn't matter, since the Dodgers finally won the World Series after being so close for so many years. Plus, if there's one season to have a little bit of a down year, it was 2020. He could bounce back the next season and everything will be alright. Except that didn't happen, because in 2021, Cody Bellinger, out of nowhere, became one of the worst players in the entire league. In 95 games, he batted 165 and only hit 10 home runs. So he hit less home runs in 2021 than 2020, despite playing in 39 more games. He was an absolute liability, and those metrics that used to be fantastic were now trash all around. But why did this happen? Well, just 4 games into the 2021 season, in the ninth inning of a blowout, Bellinger got spiked on this close play at first base. It was revealed after the game that he actually suffered a hairline fracture in his left leg from this. While he was placed on the IL, the Dodgers felt it wasn't severe enough to shut him down completely, so he still took swings in the cage for the next 6 to 8 weeks as his leg continued to heal. In hindsight, this was a terrible idea, because during this stretch, Bellinger's leg injury caused him to change his hitting mechanics without anyone even realizing it. The picture on the left is his stance in his 2019 MVP season, while on the right is his stance in 2021. You can clearly see his legs being much wider on the right. He likely picked up this mechanical change during the 6 to 8 week period of rehab, since he needed to alleviate some pressure from his broken leg. It might not seem like a big deal to the naked eye, but it made all the difference in the world in 2021. As a result, we saw the worst version of Cody Bellinger you could possibly have. Very little contact and very little power. Just 2 years after an incredible MVP campaign, Bellinger quickly became one of MLB's worst players. In 2022, the final year of his Dodgers contract, he improved a little bit, but this isn't saying a lot considering he couldn't get much worse. Following the 2022 season, the Dodgers non-tendered his contract, making him a free agent. If his story ended here, it would go down as quite the fall from grace. A kid who looked like he was set up to get paid big after 2019 and be the Dodgers franchise player for the next decade was basically cut from the team just 3 years later. But luckily for him, the story gets better. Since he was now a free agent, he decided to sign a 1-year deal with the Chicago Cubs. A great decision for both sides, as Bellinger gets a fresh start with a new team, and if he plays bad, it's only for 1 year, making it low risk, potentially high reward for Chicago. As I make this video in 2023, it appears Cody Bellinger has risen once again. In 73 games so far, he has a career best .315 batting average, while projected a career high in stolen bases and a career low in strikeouts. He has the second most home runs on the team, is tied with the most RBIs, and has the highest OPS, making him arguably the most valuable player on this Cubs roster. There were rumors about Chicago potentially selling at the trade deadline, but with Bellinger swinging a hot bat plus a winning streak that put Chicago in the playoff mix, it looks like they want him to stay so they can make a postseason run. There's a decent chance he wins Comeback Player of the Year, an award that will land him $1 million in contract incentives if he pulls it off. Regardless, the resurgence of Cody Bellinger in Chicago is great to see as a baseball fan. One of the most likable players in the game that appeared to have a bright future ahead of him completely collapsed, and it was unclear how much longer he would be able to stay in the league. At just 27 years old, he's already had a career filled with everything, but with his bounce-back 2023 season, fans are hoping this version of the former MVP is here to stay for good. And if that happens, we can say we've seen the rise, fall, and rise again of Cody Bellinger. But that wraps up this video. Please leave a like on it if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Again, I make MLB content like this all season long, so don't miss out. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.